Hello everybody and good afternoon. It is the 30th of September. I know I say it every time, but where is the year going? Craziness. I hope you're all okay and doing really well, and this is our usual Facebook Live, just to go through the latest headlines in all things social media. Apologies that we missed it last year. Hopefully you saw the blog post that Anna wrote up and published on the website. Missed us last month, sorry. We were moving offices, so we're in some lovely new space in Corsham. It's called the Digital Mansion, and you can kind of see a little bit behind me, but it's got lovely views out the window, and the girls are busy working over in the background, so you might hear some tip tapping away. But yes, so I hope you're all good. And if you haven't already joined, make sure you join the Social Media Academy Facebook group, which I've put a link into this post. What I tend to do after each, hi Anna, thanks for watching. If you are tuning in, people, do give me a thumbs up to so that you can hear me and you can see me okay. I think it's a little bit dark, but as I said, we're in new office spaces. So in the last place, I kind of had the lighting and the angles kind of nailed, but it's fine, we'll work with it and work on it for next month. Yes, so I've tagged in the Facebook group, Social Media Academy. After I go live here, I tend to jump into the group and you guys could ask me anything. So it's an exclusive opportunity every month to ask me your social media strategy questions, anything about platforms, platform changes, how to do this, how to do that, etc., etc. And it tends to work really well. So I'll be going live in there at 12:35, 45, something like that. So make sure you jump over there and join. Oh, thanks, Anna. Still looking good. Thank you very much. Yes, try. That must be the colour, darlings. Cool. Okay, so onwards with the roundup, and I will share, or Anna will share, the links to some of these articles with you all afterwards. I've kind of put my hands up and say I've been away on holiday. I've not been up to date as much as I would normally be. So yeah, there's not a huge amount that we're going to go through today, but there are some key kind of changes this month which are really worthwhile saying. First of all, the whole ability now to schedule content on Instagram. That's Instagram post onto the grid, as well as IGTV. Can now be scheduled natively through Facebook, through the Creator Studio. So if you have been thinking about, or if you've been using something like Later, for example, or Hootsuite, which if you're just scheduling to Instagram, it kind of seems a bit pointless to have something like that. And if you have got a Facebook page already, then using something like Creator Studio is going to be to have a massive impact for you, to allow you to schedule content directly onto the platform. And it probably suggests that something like Hootsuite is going to have an impact on the organic reach of your content on Instagram. If they're going to try and encourage you to use their platform, they'll probably likely tweak the algorithms a little, so that if you are scheduling using something like Hootsuite, it's not going to get seen as much. That's worth bearing in mind. However, it's obviously another reason, another way for Facebook to try and encourage you to have a presence on a Facebook page. So yes, but let me know what you guys think. If you've seen that, if you've used it yet, that would be great. I can see there's a few people watching, so hello, thank you for joining. Hope you're all well. Do say hello and where you're watching from by popping your name, etc. in the comments. Sticking on the theme of Instagram, I've had a few people ask me kind of what do I think about the whole banning of likes situation. So rather than it be, and this is a story around, basically we're starting to remove the likes, like counts on posts on Instagram, and it was kind of announced last month, really as a way to support kind of mental health and young people's confidence, which I completely agree with. Obviously, this is going to have an impact on how influencers work, so that's going to be an interesting development there. But it means that the user themselves can actually see, and I was kind of checking with the team earlier just to make sure, but users can still see how many likes they get on a post. However, for the public, other people following that profile, they won't be able to see see the number of likes. As I said, this is kind of a protective measure, I think, where people are kind of really obsessed with how many likes they get on content, and it's having a detrimental effect to well-being. And yeah, let's kind of, it will take a little bit of thought to see how that's going to impact on influencer work. But there'll probably be some more kind of deliverables and demands for people to prove their audience size and interaction and engagement. Facebook's also going to start doing that as well. They're also looking to remove like counts. The point of this, however, is that it's not yet been rolled out to the UK. As with every new kind of feature or change, people, these platforms kind of trial it in different areas. And at the moment, it's being trialed in Australia, particularly for Facebook. So neither Facebook or Instagram banning the likes has been rolled out to the UK just yet. So keep an eye out. We'll let you know as soon as we see anything. And of course, if you see anything first, we always want to know. So do keep us informed. Cool. What else have we got? So branded content can be shared on IGTV videos now. So if you are working with other brands and businesses to create content for you, you can now tag that content on IGTV, which allows brands who are looking to kind of increase their paid promotion strategy on IGTV, makes it much more interesting. And they've got that whole kind of holistic ability now to promote on Instagram. So through the grid, through stories, newsfeed, DMs, and IGTV. Twitter has an option to see media that's been shared in DMs now, so people can previously, before, if you had a tweet that had been shared out with other people, you could see where that was and who shared it publicly. But if it was done privately, you weren't able to. Now they're updating the feed, so you can see where content has been shared privately, and we'll kind of, as Anna's rightly picked up in the notes here, that's really indicating or echoes this shift between private exchange on social as opposed to public. And we've mentioned it in loads of Facebook Lives before, particularly this year. Yeah, there is a massive shift between, particularly for certain generations, those wanting to communicate with brands in a private way, a closed way, which is why things like WhatsApp and Messenger on Facebook are increasing in popularity. So, and actually I was at a talk recently where somebody asked me kind of like the value of bots and installing chatbots and using messenger bots. And I kind of, whereas that's not my expertise, I definitely think that brands need to be considering that option a lot more, and integrating things like messenger bots on websites, because users really do want to engage with businesses in that one-to-one way. Snapchat's going to allow longer ads. So Snapchat really upping their game, I think, this year in terms of being really focusing in on their niche market, so the Gen Zs, and really seeing it as a place for kind of news and branded content, as well as really allowing businesses to kind of up their investment in advertising there. So previously ads on Snapchat were only 10 seconds in length, but now they're being extended to about 3 minutes, which means that ads could potentially be a lot more effective, and it gives much more of a hook for businesses to try and invest in that. Pinterest is rolling out new look business profiles and different ad formats. So the ad format is similar to Instagram, where you can shop a look. So if you're discovering pins and discovering boards, you can, if your Pinterest is connected to your e-commerce site, you'll be able to tag in those products, and they'll have a little kind of symbol on each of those images that will allow people to shop then directly into your website, which is great. I think, Pinterest, I don't talk a lot about Pinterest because I think, the three main platforms that everyone talks about is Facebook, Insta, and kind of either LinkedIn or Twitter, but Pinterest really does have a valuable place in your social strategy, particularly if you are in the kind of creative space. And I think we all well know, it's got a large female audience, but it's brilliant for SEO. And it's one of those platforms that doesn't necessarily need to be updated as often. It doesn't demand as much attention, let's say, on a day-to-day basis, something like Twitter perhaps, but it's great for SEO. And this year they've really upped the offering for businesses in terms of how their business accounts work, what the advertising suite looks like, how accessible it is, how easy it is to use, and they'll continue to do that into 2020, I'm certain. And yeah, the other thing, just a really nice feature, Anna's noted here, is that they can add, business profiles can now have a video cover as their cover image. So a lot more engaging when people discover accounts. Cool, what else have we got? Something else about Facebook here, removing stuff. They've removed group stories. So if you were in a story, if you were in a group story, you can no longer add content onto a story. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really see that feature being used an awful amount. I think stories on events and stories on pages and individual profiles are much more effective. So I think, you know, Facebook, like a lot of channels do, they'll test something, they'll roll it out, and then they'll kind of wait to see if it's adopted. If it's not, they'll scale it back and either put focus into rolling out other features and testing things there. So yeah, they've removed group stories, which is fine. Instagram is testing more ads in stories, however, so they are testing the ability to run 2 ads back to back. Again, that means that Instagram could be a lot more appealing for people. It does mean that yeah, users will have more ads served to them. So it's down to the businesses really to make their advert the one that's more engaging, and they don't want their users to click through as such. Hi Steve, thanks for joining. The carousel format as well, Twitter are testing. Sorry, this is going on to ads. We've got Twitter testing a carousel ad format, so it will look similarly to the format on Facebook and Instagram, which means that businesses can add multiple images to their ads, and it will make it a much more engaging experience for the user to receive adverts on, and it means that you can add greater detail on your Twitter ads. Stories, again, there's lots of changes to stories going on. Facebook's testing the option to showcase stories from pages in a new in-feed panel, which is great. And I keep saying this, I've said it for months now, if you're not using stories yet on your social, make sure you are. You know, Instagram particularly, people should be adopting a story-first strategy, because users aren't scrolling as much as they used to. They're discovering people by scrolling across. So if you're not using stories, then you're not going to be seen. And with Facebook, I've seen more and more business pages now using stories, which is brilliant. But again, it's just a reminder that if you do have a business page and you're not using stories, then you are going to be having to catch up a lot in the future. It's unsaturated now, which means that you have opportunity for your content and your business to be discovered. When it gets to the point, as with Instagram is, where everybody's using it, you've got to work so much harder for your content to be seen. So yeah, this update to Facebook having its own in-feed panel for stories could be quite an attractive feature actually, and could make it more effective in terms of advertising for brands. Okay, what else have we got? We have got Pinterest, which is Later, a scheduling platform that you can use for Pinterest, are now allowing you to schedule video pins, which is great. I think video, as I said before, is continuing to grow as a format for sharing content on social. Live video, we know that video format is kind of moving more to the longer form, particularly on places like Facebook. And it just grabs our attention a lot more than kind of still imagery. So if you're not using video, again, big reminder, start trying to use video in your strategy. If you need any help with that, reach out and let us know. We'd be happy to work with you. We'd love to hear from you and help you. Cool, I think that's predominantly it for this month. We've got a couple of other changes as well in terms of news. I've seen that Facebook are trying to create a separate news tab. So anything that's breaking, anything that's trending, they're going to have it featured on there. Not sure if that will be popular or not. I think they're trying to kind of take on a little bit of Twitter in that respect, but perhaps with the age demographic that are primarily, or the large demographic on Facebook using the feed, a news tab might work well. So we'll see how that goes. And I also saw this morning, I can't remember what the company is called, but there's a partnership going on where they're looking to build a social app that's specifically about news for Generation Z and millennials, which I think sounds really interesting. So I'll share the link to that as well for you. Cool. I think that's pretty much it. Kept just under the 20 minutes, just. As I said, if you're not in the Facebook group already, the Social Media Academy, then I've tagged it in this post, so do join. Every month after these lives, I go live there exclusively to host an Ask Me Anything. So you can ask any questions you've got about your social strategy, obviously, and you can have lots of free advice I have a little 15-minute window. So if you're not in there, do join, and I will see you over there in about 15 minutes. So thank you so much to everybody who's watched. Do join in next month. You can find the dates of all our lives on the Facebook page on the events tab. And yeah, I hope you've all had a great month. Have a wonderful October. I'm also, sorry, before I go, I'm also doing a live here on Thursday about preparing for the Christmas season, for the holiday season, how to use social media at Christmas time. So I'll be doing a special Facebook Live on Thursday, and I'll add the information to the page shortly. So have a wonderful October, and I will see you very soon. If you're in the group, I'll see you in 15 minutes. Take care. Bye.